Hey there, welcome to day 287 of our BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that improves us in some way, continually improves us. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we're talking about what I call the supply paradox. And this has a lot to do with supply and demand and economics and all the things that we learned in school, plus the things that we experience in our everyday life. And it basically says the more available something is, the less we want it, the less you want it. The more of something you have at your fingertips or available to you, the less you want or desire it. And this really applies to pretty much everything. It applies to experiences. If you have too much work, you can get overwhelmed and stressed. If you have too much work, the less work you want. You just want a break. If you have too much love and too much affection, believe it or not, or too much involvement with the wrong people in a relationship, the less you want that relationship. Even applies to money. If you have what you consider too much money for you, you will do whatever you can to get rid of it, the less you want it. We all have an emotional set point, an experience set point, and a financial set point. We have actually a set point in each area and aspect of our life. And when we start to push the envelope or the comfort zone of that set point, we start to not want that thing anymore. And it applies to everything. I was thinking about it today and I'm like, oh, it does apply to everything. It's supply and demand. Economists and scientists and people that study the economy didn't make these things up. They just looked for and observed relationships and then they talked about them. So if we have too much supply of something and not enough demand for it, the price goes down. All those crazy things about economics. But think about this in your life today. I'm thinking about it in mine, and our action item today is think about something in your life that you have too much of, and do you want it or not? Sometimes I have too much work or too much stress or too much to do in my life, and I don't want it because I get overwhelmed. Things like that. So think of something in your life you have too much of. I'm going to say I have too many clothes, and I don't want them all, right? Because I have too many of them. I have so many things that I have access to. It's harder to make decisions and harder to make choices because I have too many things to choose from. Sometimes we can have too many options, right? If we have too many options, we don't necessarily want so many options, so we narrow them down to determine what's right for us. So that is our paradox today. When we have access to, or when we have too much of something, the more available it is, the less we want it. The more available certain people are in our lives, the less we want them around us, right? Except our kids. We always love our kids and grandkids. All right. Any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow with another cool paradox. Tomorrow's is relationships. I looked ahead. And we'll talk about that. And then we'll have an action item to think about and say, is this true in my life or is this not true in my life? Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.